Welcome to the Sea of Hope podcast, where we dive into the importance of mental health and how it intersects with faith. At Sea of Hope, we believe that everyone deserves access to hope, healing, and support, especially those who are struggling with mental health challenges. This community is committed to providing Christian-based conversations that prioritize mental and emotional well-being. We believe that faith can be a powerful tool in the journey toward healing and hope, and we are dedicated to creating a safe and supportive community where individuals can find the guidance and encouragement they need. Join us as we explore the latest research, personal stories, and expert insights on mental health and faith. Our goal is to inspire and empower our listeners to take steps toward a healthier, more hopeful future. Welcome to the Sea of Hope podcast.
When you guys say that y'all are able to notice when somebody's having a bad day, or when, let me better clarify, when y'all at each other are having a bad day, how do you kind of balance knowing when I should step in, show that love, show that attention, versus I need to step back and allow him or her to have their space?
For me, it used to be just don't say anything at all, because I'm just that type of person. Because I don't know how to respond to people when they're feeling a certain type of way. Like, I would rather let you have that day to yourself, or those few hours to yourself, and then let you come to me as you see need. But now, if I see okay, maybe it's something that happened at work, and he's coming in feeling some type of way. If he say not right now, I'm like, okay, I'll just let it go. But now if it becomes an issue where he's not getting out of bed, he's not going anywhere, then that's when I have to step in and say something like, hey, look, this ain't like something you would usually do. And I know if something is wrong and it's really bothering you and you become depressed by it, you will shut off. You will go to bed and stay in the bed. You won't come out the house. That's when I feel like I need to step in.
And for me, I'll piggyback off of that, what she was just saying. I have to, I tell Felicia this, and that's something I had to do, is and accept for myself, sometimes you got to let that person be stern with you, especially when they're stepping in, and it's as much as I would want to, and not saying it's an occurrence now, but it has happened. I've had my time where it's just I was so depressed. I didn't want to get out of bed. I would not leave the house for nothing. I just didn't want to. I just don't. I had so much going on. I just didn't want to deal with it. And I need that kick in the butt. Hey, you been in this room, dark, laying in bed, doing nothing. You get your tail up. And as it may come out. And I ain't saying that she said it hurtful, but it can be taken hurtful. But it's at that moment, it's you gotta let her talk to you. You gotta listen, because you really letting all this get to you. And you see how you acting and see what you're doing. That ain't you. That ain't normal. And for me, it took some time for me to get to that point to be yeah, she is right. Not saying that I was the one yeah, my wife don't know what she's talking about. No, because again, going back to the original point, we think that we know ourselves better than other people do. But in certain cases, and certain times, we don't, because it's a self-sabotage. We over here, not working in our best interests. And sometimes somebody got to step in and be like, hey, you're not doing what's best for you. And, and what's best for me is what's best for us. And that's the thing. And now I will say this to, when me and Felicia, she's the type of person, give her time. I'm not that type of person. I'm a problem solver. I'm going to be like, hey, let's go and let's dress it right now. But I had to learn, give her time, 10-second rule. Let her count down, let her calm down, then we'll talk about it, and, it could be something as minute as you didn't say you didn't want to go to Taco Mama. Or it could be something as big as, hey, we got to pay these taxes, but it comes back down to that communication piece. Yes, it is that emotional component too, because you got to emotionally understand and know this person. But that comes through growth and time. But also that communication piece too, as well, as also understand, okay, is this the time to communicate? Is this not the time to communicate? If it's not the time to communicate, give it time, because it's going to come back up. It's something that needs to be addressed. And then some stuff, sometimes it's because Felicia know, and I tell her, I'm like, yeah, this was going on, but that ain't really nothing because I'll be all right. I'm gonna go play this game. I'll be all right.
Because it was an instance back here last year when he had to really get on to me about, because it was my job. It had stressed me out so bad to the point where I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't talk to nobody. I wouldn't go nowhere. I would be in the bed by 8 o'clock. And one night I had to text him before he got back. I was like, look, this is in the same. I'll get him tomorrow. And when he got here, I was already in the bed. It was probably every bit of like 9 o'clock. TV was off. I was already in the bed. And Trell busted in the room like, no, this is not like you. I don't know what's going on with you, but you need to tell me so we can get it together, because this ain't like you to already be in the bed at 9 o'clock, TV off, and then you're not washing dishes like you normally do. He was like, we're not doing this, basically, in a nutshell.
Trell came in like the police.
And I was like, I needed that, because after he said that in my head, I was like, I'm doing what he would do, and he's doing what I would do. And I was like, let me get up. Now I can say now I don't stress out as much, because I don't want to say I don't care, but your job is your job. It's going to be there tomorrow. The same problem's going to be there even after you gone. So that's how I look at it now.
And I will say the great thing about that situation, because my wife worked with kids. My mama, she worked in education, and she's the in-school teacher, so she deal with all the kids that nobody wants to deal with. And but just being with my mama after school, being with other teachers, I know the stress of the job. And like, I know Felicia's gonna be stressed out because it was her first year doing that. She's teaching 4th grade at a failing school. And we know that those sometimes have their issues. But for her school, it comes with certain behavior issues when it comes down to kids. And she's never worked with those kids before. And I knew that. And I know eventually somewhere in the school year, if anybody's listening to this podcast and your significant other teachers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're gonna have that one day where them kids just ain't gonna care, and your significant other gonna come home, or it may be just that week. It may be exam week, or the school board is coming in, or the district is coming in, or God forbid the state is coming in. Everybody's stressed. So yeah, she's gonna be stressed, but it's my responsibility. Like, hey, babe, leave work at work. I understand that sometimes you gotta bring some stuff home, but for the most part, if it needs to stay at work, let it stay at work. Don't bring this home. And that's even with how we feel, because I had to tell myself that too as well. Because when I was, at my last institution, it was some days that I come home that I was livid. I'm talking about 38 hot. But it's like, I'm not gonna bring that home because that happened an hour away down the road. I need to leave that there because what happened today didn't happen at my house. So I don't need to bring what happened outside my house in my house. And it's hard. It's really hard because, it's really easy for folks like, oh, leave it at my door. But how we feel, it's more complex than that, because just because I walk through a new place, I'm supposed to just start feeling happy because I'm in a new room. That's basically, but you got, again, be in a moment, assessing, because, I said something, it takes time. It took us a long time to get here. We've been married for 5 years, and it don't seem like it's that long, but man, we think about 5 years ago, we first started out, that was 2018, man. We are different people than what we were before. But it's because we've grown together. And I'm going to say that word right there, together. But everybody that's how he listens, together.
But do we still have issues here and there? Of course, because like he said about the outside stuff, I got a tendency to bring my outside stuff inside. I don't care if it's Walmart customers that made me mad when I step in this house. I'm still going to be mad when I get in here. Granted, the Walmart 5 minutes down the road, and that's not good enough for me to calm down yet. So when I get in, I'm like, not right now. Just not right now. It's real. Like, I don't care what happened at Walmart. You leave that down there.
And to her defense, I have to tell myself, hey, we're different people. How I handle situations, not how she's gonna handle situations. We handle situations totally different. Like, there's some situations that Felicia just could just skate through, and I just like, oh, wait a minute, no, we're not gonna go past that. Like, that just didn't happen. And it's vice versa with me, because if something happening, like with her and kids, for example, something like, oh my God, my kid did this me. Yeah, that's what some kids do. And as crazy as it sounds, to her, it's like, but it's some stuff to me that I just like, hey, yo, like, no, that's just what people do. But
I had to tell him, like, with the stuff that he's talking about that I can skate through, but he couldn't. I'm like, it's been happening since I was in elementary school. So I know the pattern how this is gonna happen, and how it's gonna keep going. So I'm pretty much used to it because it's like at this point we did all the fussing that we could. We talked about it as much as we could. Why am I still gonna be sitting here getting upset, getting stressed out? Because I mean, it's still the same. It's everything. It's like a hamster wheel. I call it hamster wheel. It's just the same. We running around.
Yeah,
and
ain't
at some
getting
point, I kind of just disconnect myself with what they got going on over here and put me here because I'm like, my mental health is more important because I have a significant other that I'm with every day. And I don't want that. I don't want to, the first thing he come in, I'm talking, I don't want to talk. I don't want to do that.
She's right, because I'm not gonna lie, because I have my moments because I will hold on, I will be on stuff too much. And for me, that's basically she'll be like, I'm not gonna be on that because it's gonna happen again and again and again and again. And again, for me, I'm a problem solver, in my head. And it's a blessing and a curse because you gotta learn again when to step away. But just having it on your mind again affects what you got going on in your house. Leave that outside. And I have to at times tell myself, because when it comes down to family issues, you kind of want to, oh, that's my family, but it's like, yeah, that's your family, but what about your spouse? That's your family right there. That's your house, and that's outside your house. So leave that alone. And again, to all my other folks out here listening, don't let your family ruin your marriage. And not saying that our family ruin our marriage. No, what I'm saying is don't let what happens in your family even take your stress, take your anxiety, take your depression to a whole nother level. Because what about your spouse? You didn't say I do to the family. You said I do to her, or you said I do to him.
And another thing too, what people don't realize is when you marry somebody and you look at how your parents were married, either it was volatile, it ended in divorce, whatever, what have you. If you put that on your head and be like, I want to be like that, I want to be like that, I want to be like that, I want to be like that. That's a mental thing too. And then guess what? You end up doing exactly what you said that you do not want to do. So I don't think about, oh, I don't want to do that. I just try my best. Well, we try our best to be Felicia and Trell. We're not worried about mom and dad.
One of the beautiful things that since y'all have been talking that I've been hearing is a lot of intentionality and trying to really sit with this person. And I really want to sit and be with you, because that's how God designed marriages, for us to really be one. And the only way I'm gonna do that is if I take that time to really sit down and let me see how you think. Let me see what you really do on a day-to-day. Because it's interesting. We can be in the same room with somebody for a week straight and miss millions of things if we're not trying to be intentional and sit there and learn that person. And that's really what y'all been communicating, is that marriage takes me sitting here and learning how to do life with you. And I think we forget that it's just supposed to be fixed once we say I do. Like everything's just supposed to be fine.
I had this thought earlier, and I was thinking, preparing for this, and I knew this was gonna come up. But you know how people talk about, as humans, we use our lizard brain. And even using our lizard brain, that means that you anticipate that everybody should act a certain way, do a certain thing based on this, that, and the third. And if they don't, something's wrong with them. But instead, we don't look at it as they're human. They have a different thought process, different thought pattern. So we're not going to come to the same conclusion. But if we use the forefront or the logical sense and actually think about it, sometimes we can find that common ground that we all have in whatever it is. And that's how it is, with us. And that's the whole learning process is, okay, how can we find those similarities? And also understand that we are separate people too as well. But how can we still come together as one, even though we have our similarities? Well, because we have our similarities and even though we have our differences. And it's a challenge because the expectation is we should just be on one accord at all times.
You're not gonna agree on everything. And it could be the small stuff, like Trell don't agree with how I fold the towels up. I don't see anything wrong with how I fold the towels up.
When she squeezed the toothpaste out the tube, it drives me crazy because she squeezed it.
I squeeze from the bottom now. After you made me aware that I started squeezing from the bottom.
Yeah, she
Look
sometimes
at that compromise.
she still sometimes squeezes.
And if I see that I squeeze from the middle, I'll go and start moving it from the bottom. Like, oh, I did that.
And if she squeezes from the middle, ain't no big problem. I just do what I always do, just squeeze it from the bottom. And it ain't nothing big. I mean, how we put up dishes. I mean, how we do this, how we do that. It's okay. Have we changed up some of those things over the years? Yeah, I mean, because it works better for both of us. To do it that way. I can even talk about just cleaning the house in general. I mean, we have two separate ways to clean the house. But you want to know something? I don't get mad if she clean the house her way and I clean mine. I clean mine my way. Did the house get clean?
Trell stick to one room. I kind of work on several rooms at one time.
And if we come together, it's definitely gonna get done faster. It ain't. It's the compromise, and it's not like, oh, I need it done this way. No. What do we both need, and how can we
just need it done? That's it.
That's it. How can it get done? I don't look. I look. I know we talked about mental health, but all this affects mental health because if you don't feel good in your marriage, you just ain't gonna have no positive mental health. And that's the thing that we realize is like, okay, we want to have peace in our marriage. How can we achieve that? And then once we achieve it, how do we maintain it?
Right.
Once we get to that level, and keep growing in that. And we had our moments. We still do have our moments at times. And it's just an ever-growing process. Again, start today.
Start today.
I'm gonna go back to that. I don't know how many times. I promise you, I've been living by that for 3 years, dog. Start today.
That daily renewing.
Start today.
Speaking of which, that's one thing that I'm curious about is because you mentioned, that y'all are together, but that y'all are also still individuals. How do y'all find time? And I'm shifting a little bit within your walk with God. Kind of how do y'all find balance with that? Yes, it's my individual walk with God, but how also we're walking together.
I can use my travel for example, because I travel quite a lot. Not so much this year like I did last year, but
all the roads.
But I know Felicia gotta be hurt. We don't have. Yes, we are called in this marriage. We are together, but we even still have our different callings nonetheless. I work. I'm a people person. My job requires me to be out there talking to people. Felicia's not. She is most definitely an introvert, but she has her own way of doing things. She work with kids. I don't work with kids. I have no work with kids. I love kids. I just don't want to work with them. I work with them once they get like 17 to 18 years old and they still think they're kids. But we know we have our different callings. I'm great in this area where Felicia is not, and Felicia's great in one area that I am not. And that's where the togetherness comes in, that we piggyback off each other, we build off each other's strength, as well as accommodating for the areas that we are not so strong at, but also when it's time for us, because God has a calling for everybody. And yes, you may be together, but he may have the individual calling that baby for you that's not for your spouse, but your spouse will benefit because of that, because y'all are one. And we just know that. Children's church, for example, church we go to, Felicia, she's teaching children's church. And naturally, I'm not gonna lie, whatever the pastor need me to do or the choir need me to do, we do sing together. But whatever they need me to do in that aspect, when it comes down to, okay, Trell, like this year, you want to teach Vacation Bible School? Cool. They asked Felicia to teach, but I was like, yeah, she probably would like to be with the kids more. And she actually wound up with the kids, and I was with the young adults. I mean, we just have two totally different, our calling's the same, but yet we also have our individual things that what makes us that we're strong at. And we know it. So I hope that helps them.
That's about the same.
Well, I just know that it can be difficult, especially since God gives us so many different gifts and talents that we can easily want to go act on it. And sometimes, as you mentioned, we got to sacrifice and got to compromise. Okay, maybe this is not one that I'm meant to act on now. Or there was a season for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I can give a good example of that one. Basketball. I used to love to play basketball all the time. Marv was like, hey, you better sit down. You be going to play basketball too much. I was like, what? All right, I'm going to sit down. Because she was right. I was spending a lot of time playing basketball. And it's like, okay, I ain't got to play basketball every day. I can play maybe twice a day. I mean, not twice a day, twice a week. Definitely can't do it twice a day. She kicked me out the house, did you? But yeah, I think it's just interesting trying to find that balance. And sounds like y'all had it figured out of
I think
what kind of works for y'all.
what we do, like him being in higher education and me working with small children, with the church that we got to, it worked just like that because each of us had our own calling. We're in our own spots. So like he said, he taught what was it, Vacation Bible School. He's talking to all the kids in there that's in the college. Meanwhile, I'm in the bag with all the babies, teaching them things. So it's kind of like everything worked out.
I will say this because you did bring up a point where you playing basketball. For me, it was the frat. Early on, Felicia would tell me, you doing too much for the frat. You staying out to coming home at 11 o'clock because you got to do this. What about me? What about us? And they will tell you, and everybody will tell you now. I will be quick to tell you, you got to 9 o'clock. It's a schedule for me now. Oh, and look, and I love it that way though. At the time, I didn't see it that way, but now, try me. Let it be a night that I got control of the time. That I'm going home to my wife and my dog.
I'll say that. He don't have to worry about that with me because you give me a good hour and I'm back at the house. That's all I need. All right, girl, I'm finna go.
Now I ain't gonna lie. Has it been a couple times you were gone? Hey. I don't know. You were going somewhere to the mall. You was like, she'll go to Walmart. And I know you don't take Felicia alone to go to Walmart. She be gone for about 2 hours. Hey, that ain't normal now. Where you at now? Just making sure we good. Making sure. But she'll do the same thing to me because I got a homeboy. He stay up here in Tuscaloosa. I go to his house. She'll figure out get his house, but I get a call. Hey, where you at? You ain't called me.
Friday, because you told me you were gonna be here when I got off and I got here, and it was like 8 o'clock when you got here.
Exactly. And I got it. I was like, I was at so-and-so house. But honestly, that's again, growing together.
Yeah.
And then I'm like a long partner if he don't want to stay long. He'd be like, come with me.
Hey,
so we'll have a reason to sleep.
Don't tell everybody my secrets.
Supposed to keep that one in the house.
I swear. Look,
you want every time she pull up. Oh, you trying to leave, huh?
Me. Oh, you trying? Oh, you gonna be for about an hour and a half to 2? That's about it. You on a time limit? Let me stop.
Well, I don't want to take up too much more of y'all day, but
yeah, man, great conversation, man. Honestly, I hope this helps somebody.
Well, that's what my next question was going to be. Kind of, I know there is a lot of people that are struggling with loneliness currently, especially since we had the whole COVID. Everything was shut down. They were making everybody isolate, and now we got this whole battle of the sexes right now of men versus women and all that shenanigans that's going on. What words of encouragement would you give to both the person that's out there single trying to find a relationship, as well as to the people that are in relationships that are looking towards marriage or that are already married?
To the people that are out there single, I'm going to say this because this is what happened to me before me and Felicia met. I was single and wasn't trying to date, had my options open. But I had a real moment. And that was like, Trell, do you know yourself? Do you know, because we had like everybody, and guys, girls, I wish dudes would say they didn't do it because everybody do. Everybody have their ideal list of what they're looking for in a significant other or a spouse. And I had that list. I had mine written down in the Bible. And it was in the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I can tell you right now, Felicia is half of that list. And not saying in a bad way, because even when I wrote that list, I was still thinking what I wanted instead of what I needed. And what I did in that time, it was 2012, first year playing football. I think you was a freshman that year, wasn't you, Dwight? You came in
2013.
Okay, it was the year before you got there. So 2012, I'm 21 years old, still trying to figure out life. And I had to accept, okay, am I in a place where I can have a relationship right now? Because I got a lot going on that I don't understand about myself. So I spent that time to myself, figuring myself out, praying, meditating, and just working on me before I introduce somebody else to me. Because if I would have stayed the person, and it wasn't bad, it was just I didn't have things figured out like I needed to have a relationship at the time. And even when me and Felicia first started talking, it was still rough. But it was better than what it would have been if I would have took that time. So anybody that's single, give yourself time first and foremost to work on yourself. Okay, and everybody again think, what do I want? No, what do you need? And we oftentimes don't know what we need because we ain't going to the right person to ask that question. We going to ourselves and knowing dang well you ain't finna say nothing you need. You gonna say all what you want. And that's what I had to do. And I thank God for female friends like Odessa or female friends like Lex, and just learning, okay, what is a woman looking for in a man? Do you know what a woman needs? You know, and that's something. And then how can I communicate with the opposite sex in a better, efficient way, not from just a sheer male stamp. No, these are women. Because like Lex had to tell me sometimes, Trell, I'm a girl. Because Lex 6'1" played basketball, and I was like, Lex, you got it. But I had to remember, she'd tell me I'm a girl. And I thank her for that, because I mean, a lot of stuff we talked about is directly reflected into my marriage now. To anybody that's dating and trying to get stronger, our communication, emotional communication, honestly, understanding your partner, honestly, more than anything, because that's the biggest thing that I had to accept. And I had to come to understand was I had to understand Felicia, but also understand she's not you.
And then understand that you're not going to agree on everything. And that's okay. Don't make decisions off of temporary feelings of you being mad. Like me being mad at Trell only lasts for a little while, but me loving him, that's forever. Like love, that's not going to go away. But like if I'm mad at him, I can get over that. But like people will be like, oh, well, they did this. Now, if it's a constant thing where it's just keep going, by all means, do what you feel like you need to do. But don't sweat the small thing.
Honestly, learn unconditional love. Learn what that really means. Because, you know, even what Felicia said, you know, and hopefully nobody's listening got a toxic relationship going on, but even in a toxic relationship, you still love somebody even from a distance, because you got to do what's best for y'all if y'all not being productive for each other. And that's love in itself. I love you so much that I'm willing to let you go so you can thrive, so we can thrive. But once you together, you like lock in again. I want you to say that again. I want you to say that again. You gotta love so much that sometimes you gotta love even when you know you gotta let it go, because you gotta want that other person to thrive. Because if y'all can't thrive together, is that really love? Because if I love you, that's what makes me love Felicia. I want to see Felicia be the best version of herself. Right. And I'm gonna love her, I'm gonna push her. And if I get in the way of that, I gotta remove myself from that, you know, because I'm not doing right by her, because I'm hindering her. I don't want to hinder my wife. I want to see my wife be as successful as she can ever possibly dream and want to be. You know, if my wife wanted to say, hey, babe, I want to go to med school, this is what I want to do, I want to become a doctor and become a neonatal doctor. Hey, what can we do? How can I help you achieve that goal? And same token for me. I mean, you know, my
first question is, what we gonna do to get there?
Yeah, because I know Felicia a lot of stuff, like I'm trying to do this, and it done switched up a lot. And she was, hey, buddy, you're talking about a couple of different weeks.
But one thing I told him, I said, you telling me like 10 different things every other month of what you want to do. I said, when you are solid on what you want to do, then let me know. I said, because you keep changing. And I'm like, well, Trell, then I wasn't being mean. I was like, you figure out, hey, this is what I want to do. Then come on and tell me.
But It's gonna be that unconditional love. That's the aspect, honestly. Learning what this, I'm not gonna lie, Felicia really made me and helped me learn what unconditional love is. We talk about it in our faith, we talk about it all the time, but sometimes talking is just ain't enough. Do you understand it? Because I needed that. I really did. And in that moment, once I made that realization, life really started to get better because I learned how to walk and be better because this is my wife. You know, we intentional about this. We trying to do it right. And, you know, I thank God that God continued to bless us, man, because these last 3 years, we done came up a lot.
I take like what he said, I am where I am because of him, God and him, because Trell pushed me a lot when I was staying in Meridian. He was like, just come to school where I'm at. And I ended up doing it. And then he'll be like, what makes you think you can't do this job? Apply for it. And that's basically why I am where I am now, because Trell pushed me to get there, even though sometimes when I felt like I was being fussed at, I wasn't being fussed at. That's just how he speaks when he motivates people. And so, yeah, I feel the same.
I got it from Coach Hall.
Shout out to Coach Hall.
You had to remember that, didn't you?
Yeah, I remember them days. Coach Hall running a little crazy.
What makes the watermelon grow?
Oh man, I'm bringing him up. This is the coach now. Talk about that man often.
Oh man. But that's us. We are the Arringtons. Dysfunctionally functional.
I like that.
Not dysfunctionally functional. Oh, now, see, now you about to cut up. I'm going to have to go and get you up out there. You about to cut up now. You acting right. Now you about to cut up. And she right there behind Kiki with you.
Look, man, I like to feel like, you know, this is Ella and I'm Curtis in a sense.
What is wrong with you?
Man,
at least you ain't giving medication today, huh? That was going on with her.
Probably. Now this Trell all day, every day.
So you know me.
This is Trell all day, every day.
Hate it or love it. This is Trella.
Well, folks, thank you for joining us today. I had 2 amazing guests that shared a lot of knowledge. I hope you guys save these episodes and come back and revisit them because they dropped a lot. And I definitely hope that y'all were blessed today. We hit on a lot of different topics. We talked about, you know, maintaining mental health in a relationship, helping maintain our partner's mental health, dealing with being talented and blessed by God, and kind of how can I utilize that within my relationship and not allow that to be a hindrance. And the biggest 3 things they really hit on was making sure that we communicating, making sure that we being intentional, and Trello really hit home with the unconditional love. And now you got to be careful with that one. I will say we're not saying unconditional love that you're letting yourself being abused and all that. We saying unconditional love and the mindset of I can overlook some stuff, and I realize that in the grand scheme of things, this is not that big of a deal. I hope you guys join us for another episode. I hope you guys have a great time. See you on the next episode.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Sea of Hope podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. At Sea of Hope, we believe that mental health is an essential part of our overall wellness, and we are committed to providing resources and support to those who are struggling. Through our faith-based approach, we seek to offer hope, healing, and restoration through relevant conversations. We want to remind you that you are not alone and that there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health issues, we encourage you to reach out to a certified mental health professional. Thank you for tuning in to the Sea of Hope podcast. We invite you to join us next time as we continue our journey of bringing hope to the mental health community. Until then, we pray that the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all.